Could the George Soros-funded DA empire across America soon be crumbling? New reports this week that St. Louis Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner is now facing a disciplinary review that could result in the loss of her law license. An investigation has found there is probably cause Gardner committed professional misconduct during her investigation of former Missouri Governor Eric Greitens. Missouri Senate candidate and the former governor of Missouri himself, Eric Greitens, joins me now to respond to these developments. Right now, we've got another George Soros-funded prosecutor who's in a bit of hot water as a result of her investigation and her hiring an investigator to investigate you. Why don't you tell us what the background is and what she is accused of?
Yeah, so Judge, what happened here is real simple. As governor, I stood up for the people of Missouri. I backed our law enforcement officers, and when Antifa came to Missouri, we defeated them. And then I was attacked by a George Soros-funded prosecutor. And when we say George Soros-funded, she received over 70% of her funding directly from George Soros. She went after me. She created a false case. And as you mentioned, Judge, her lead investigator, a hand-picked FBI agent who she picked, has been charged with 7 felonies for perjury and evidence tampering, for creating a false case against me. And she has now been caught making 79 false statements to the court, to judges, to her own prosecution team, to the investigator. All of these lies
regarding
in an
your
effort
case?
to attack me.
No, wait
regarding
a minute.
my
She's
case.
Charged
this was
with
all
those,
regarding my case.
Regarding your case. All right. Now, this special prosecutor, I believe, who was indicted for several felonies, he's not a member of her office. She went out and got him in to investigate you. So she didn't use her regular office.
Yeah, that is such an important point, Judge. She didn't use the police. She didn't use her own investigators. She went out and got a former FBI agent who she brought in, who reported only to her. And he has now been charged for 7 felonies, perjury, and evidence tampering for creating a false case against me. And again, we need to see justice here, just like you said, Judge. Hopefully it begins here in St. Louis, but we need it throughout the country.
Let me ask you a question. How did she end up being investigated for professional misconduct? And she may even lose her law license. And how did he end up being indicted? Who indicted him?
Well, we kept the fight. We kept the fight up, Judge. Look, we know there's this big wave of leftist lies. We saw it with the Trump-Russia collusion hoax. You saw it with the Brett Kavanaugh hearings. But we kept fighting, and eventually a special prosecutor charged that FBI agent with those 7 felonies, and the Office of the Chief Disciplinary Counsel, the independent reviewer, has found these 79 false statements.
So it didn't come from her office. All right, so it
didn't
come.
No, it did not. Of course, it did not come from her office.
Yeah. That's why I'm trying to figure out where it came from. Now, she's the same woman who's prosecuting the McCloskeys for defending themselves when the protesters tore down a gate and came on their property and said, "We're going to kill you. We're going to live here." Correct?
That's right. She's attacking the McCloskeys. She's also attacked police officers across the city of St. Louis. And as a result of her attacks on the police, we're seeing the murder rate skyrocket in St. Louis. You've got dead children, children who are being shot. These statistics are amazing. And we got to remember, every single one of these crimes involves a life, as you talk about, Judge, that affects an entire family forever. When George Soros-funded prosecutors run rampant, it leads to people losing their lives and the destruction of some of our finest cities.
No question. Eric Greitens, thanks so much for being with us this evening.